Hey, how's it going? Mark Linder, your friendly real estate agent here. Coming live and direct to you here today, right where you're at, because I know it's hard to find time to learn about real estate, to talk about real estate, or to definitely come in and talk to a real estate agent when you're thinking about buying or selling. So I'm going to come right to you. Here I am in living color, Mark Linder, doing this for 15 years. Love helping buyers and sellers, but let's get into the 4 strategies for getting into a home. Number 1 is obviously, you got to go get a loan at the bank. Most people don't have $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 cash sitting in their pocket, so they have to put what they have and go get a bank loan for the rest 9 times out of 10. And that's hard and even intimidating to think about, because you're like, oh man, what if my credit's not good, or what if they tell me no? People don't like rejection, right? But you got to change your mindset and look at it as, I need to find out what's possible so that I can find out what the best strategy is for me and what kind of timing it's going to take for me to get into a home. So let's talk about the first strategy, is a bank loan, okay? So in a bank loan, in a mortgage, you have FHA and you have conventional. Now, with an FHA loan, they're going to want to see 3.5% down payment. With a conventional, 5%. So on a $200,000 house, basically you're looking at around $7,000 of down payment on an FHA and about $10,000 on a conventional. Now, another thing that we have is what's known as USDA and VA loans, but we won't talk about those today because the agricultural loan works a little bit different and a veteran's loan works a little bit different. Those are really kind of more of a 100% product. But we also have lenders that specialize in all of this stuff that can absolutely get you set up for free, no problem. But let's talk about the down payment for a minute. There are programs called a lender credit and a gifting program which help offset what you would come out of pocket for a down payment. Now, it's best if you do have your own money when you're closing on a house, but if you don't, we do have zero down programs in the form of a lender credit or a gift program that can help you get into a home. However, general rule of thumb is the more money you bring to the table, the smaller your monthly payment will be. The less money you bring to the table, a little bit higher that monthly payment's going to be. So it's kind of a direct trade-off in proportion to one another to think about. The other thing we want to talk about is closing costs. On an FHA conventional, all these products have what's known as closing costs, lender costs, right? Origination fees and all this type of thing. Those are generally speaking going to be anywhere from $4,000 to $7,000, a little bit more sometimes, but generally around $5,000 you can plan for closing costs. So on a $200,000 house, you're looking at a 3.5% down payment plus the $5,000 closing costs. Probably around $12,000 to get into an FHA on a $200,000 house. And then as you go up the scale, that number increases. So this is generally what a bank loan is involved. They want to see a 45% debt to income ratio. So there's another thing that will come up called DTI. It's generally a 30-year product or a 15-year product. They have 15-year notes as well. And it takes about 30 days to close on a note, okay? So that's a bank loan. I always tell people, if you can do a traditional mortgage, do that first because it's going to cost you less per month. Now, if you can't do a loan, then there's always leasing a home. Leasing a home is pretty straightforward. A $1,500 a month rental is going to cost you around $3,000 to get into, $1,500 security deposit, and $1,500 first month's rent for a total of $3,000. It's usually a 12-month term. Landlords usually don't want to do more than 12 months because they want to hike the rent up, and they don't usually do less because they want to make sure they're getting at least 12 months worth of money. So you're right there at that 12-month mark 9 times out of 10 with the $3,000 investment on a lease. To me, this is like kind of the last option of what I would do. Now let's talk about my third option, which is a good go-between. I would actually consider this to be the number 2 option. So this is number 1, this is number 2, and this is either number 3 or 4. Because when I explain the other one over here, you'll know why. Okay, so bam. You got your traditional mortgage, you got your lease. Now let's talk about this one. Leasing with the option to buy or what we call rent to own. This has been a fantastic product for many families that I've helped get into a home that are having a little bit of credit challenges or maybe some road bumps in their background, but they still got to get that house. They still need a good neighborhood for their kids, and they want to go ahead and get a house now. They don't feel like leasing anymore. But for whatever reason, the bank has told them no. This is a really great option. So on leasing with the option to buy, they want you to have a 550 FICO score. Oh, by the way, on the bank scores, you have to have a 600 FICO score. 620 is preferable. 720 is their prime rate, okay? Now, we do have some 580 programs over here, but that means your payment's gonna be more. But I would exhaust all options on the bank loan before we go over here with the lease with the option to buy. So let's move on to the lease with the option to buy. Now, the thing about lease with the option to buy is you got the 550 FICO score. So some people have 550, they don't feel like waiting to get that up to 600, 620, or even 720. They're ready to go. Now, with this option, it's a little bit more than leasing. It's 2 months worth of security deposit plus first month's rent. So it's gonna be, in this case of a $1,500 a month a rental, it's gonna be $4,500 to get into the lease with the option to buy on this example. Now, if it's a $2,000 a month home, it's $6,000 to get in. So whatever the rent is, multiply it by 3, that's what it takes to get into the rent to own or the lease with the option to buy. Now here's what they want to see. They want to see a 550 credit score. They want to make sure, obviously you've got a good job or whatever, and you got consistent income coming in. They want $50,000 in combined household income or more per month for the whole household combined, not just one person. They want to see that 45% DTI. They don't want you to have any violent felonies or open bankruptcies. As long as it's discharged, it's not a problem. They're generally a little bit more lenient on you than they're going to be over here with the bank, right? So the cool thing about this is that you get to go pick from all the homes that are for sale, just like you were a cash buyer or a financed buyer. So you're picking better homes and you got more choices. So it's awesome. You get in here, there's a 3-year term that you have the right to buy that house anytime you want after 12 months. You're in there for 12 months, and then bam, after that you can buy it anytime you want, no competition. It's unilaterally yours if you decide to purchase. Now, if you decide not to purchase, you can get your security deposit back. So out of this $4,500, $3,000 of that is refundable if you decide to leave and not purchase, provided that you took care of the place, right? Just like on a lease. Security deposit comes back as long as you take care of the place in the same way you found it, right? So that is the lease with the option to buy. Now, this is a great product. In my opinion, this is my number 2 product. I would do the bank loan if you can do it, but if you can't, do this lease with the option to buy because it gives you a lot of options, lets you pick a better house with more choices. And you become a cash buyer because the program pays cash for the house for you. And I've seen many clients that I'm working with, we went out in a multiple offer situation because we are a cash buyer. So this is a cool strategy for getting into a home in a crazy seller's market as well. And then last but not least, let's talk about my 4th option over here, which I think is probably equal to or even better than, depending on how you want to look at it. Obviously, I think it's better than leasing, but it's probably equal to or near in comparison to the lease option. So let's just put it right here, number 4 right here, and I think it's probably equal in value as number 2. So let's just say it's what we call seller finance. Now, seller finance is a very cool thing, and I just hooked up with a network of investors that have a whole bunch of seller finance properties. So if you can't get in on a bank loan, you can't get in with the lease with the option to buy, let's do seller finance if we can. And then if all else fails, let's go ahead and lease. But with the seller finance, the big thing, that's the big hurdle for most people, is that seller finance requires a little bit more money up front. Generally speaking, 10% down, okay? So on a $200,000 house, you're gonna need 20 grand. On a $300,000 house, you're gonna need 30 grand. However, seller finance is a great thing because it works just like a bank loan, only instead of the bank carrying the note, you have an owner that's carrying the note. So this is a great strategy, and I've got tons of properties now because I just hooked up with this network. So all you gotta do is email me or call me, text me, say, hey Mark, let's go with option number 1. If that doesn't work out, let's try option number 2. If that doesn't work out, what's going on with that seller finance, man? We're looking for a house in Addison. We're looking for a house in Frisco. We're looking for a house in Garland. We're looking for one in Fort Worth. Wherever it is that you're at, let me know where you're looking for a house. I'll plug into my network of investors and see if I can find you a seller finance deal. So we will get you into a house. We're committed with 4 basic strategies to get you into a house. My name is Mark Linder. You know, I hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely want to be of service. I want to be a free advisor, a free resource to you. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you, anything I can help out with in the home buying or selling process. I hope you have a great day, and I thank you so much for taking time to listen to this message. Look forward to talking to each and every one of you. Reach out to me sometime if you want to. Feel free. Take care. Have a good one. Thanks. Bye-bye.